Peace, divines. I hope you all are well. And I am doing well. And I wanted to come on here today to make a video of a DIY deodorant cream. Today, I wanted to create a cream because it is the one that I can make now, and if I make a spray, which I want to, the spray will be ready probably in maybe 2 weeks or so. So I am going to do the cream today, and so let's go over the ingredients, and I will put the recipe and the ingredients and the different things that I use. I will put it all on my blog. And for YouTube, I wanted to show you how I make it, of course. And so the first thing is that the things that for this cream you have to make sure that you have is you make sure you have some shea butter. I know some people don't use shea butter, but I don't mind using shea butter. I love it. And so I use some shea butter as a base. And I also use some grapeseed oil as well. And then I chose some essential oils. And today I'm using lemongrass and lavender. And for the powders that I'm using in it, I'm using some bentonite clay, and I'm using some baking soda and some arrowroot powder. And yeah, and all of these things you can actually find at Whole Foods or at your local community health store. Usually, pretty much, you should be able to find all these ingredients there. And so the first thing I did, and I melted the shea butter, because you want to add the essential oils and the grapeseed oil before you add the powders. And so I melted some shea butter. And I'm not going to go into much about the amounts right now, because I'll put that all on the blog. And the more I make videos, the more I'm learning about the best way to do videos. So so I use shea butter, right? And I melted it. And how you melt it, for me, I just took a pot and I put some boiling water in it, and I made sure I used a heat-proof glass, and I put the shea butter in it. But first, I weighed it on a scale. I actually used a food scale, and I weighed it because I only wanted about a ½ ounce. So I decided to weigh it, and then I put it into the glass, and then I melted it, right? So this is a ½ ounce of shea butter that I melted, and it probably took me about 5 minutes to melt it, to weigh it and melt it. And so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to take about, I'll take about 5 drops. I'm going to take about 5 drops of the lemongrass and lavender. And so since I want the lavender to dominate, I'll do 3 drops of lavender and 2 drops of lemongrass. And you definitely want to pick essential oils that are good for, slaying bacteria growth. And so I'm going to drop, oh my goodness, I dropped more than, okay. And so I put the drops in. Oh, I didn't know the video could show that I'm doing it. Okay, And now I am going to put the grapeseed oil in, and I want to use about 1/4 of an ounce. So I'm going to weigh it. And how I weigh it on the scale, whatever I use, like I look at the weight of this and I subtract it from the weight that I want to have. So I'm going to turn my scale on, and let me see, and I'm putting it on ounces. And so I'm going to use this to weigh it's like a tablespoon thing, to weigh the grapeseed oil. And okay, so now I'm going to weigh out the grapeseed oil because I only want to use about 1/4 of an ounce. And so I already weighed the tablespoon that I'm using. And so now I'm just going to weigh all of this together. And so, okay. So I have the amount of grapeseed oil that I want, and I'm going to put it into the shea butter. And yeah, there we go. And so I have the essential oils, and I have the shea butter, and I have the grapeseed oil. And now I am going to put about, I would say, let me see how much of I want to put a certain amount of the powder in here. So I want to use about 1/2 ounce. I'm going to use 1/2 ounce of the powder mix. And so I'm going to weigh it again with the tablespoon, since I already know how much the tablespoon weighs. I'm just going to keep putting powder in here. And when you take the baking soda and the bentonite clay and the arrowroot, you just can mix it up. And I'm going to now take it, and I'm going to weigh it till it's about 1/2 ounce. So I'm going to weigh it just like I did with the grapeseed oil. But with the grapeseed oil, I did 1/4 of an ounce. So I'm doing 1/2 ounce. Okay, so it pretty much was like a tablespoon for 1/2 ounce. And it was just like, hold up. So now I'm going to take that, I'm going to put it into, I'm trying not to spill it, into the liquid mix. And now you are going, I'm just going to stir it up, and you would just stir it up until you don't see any clumps anymore. And that's what I'm going to do right now. And when it comes to this, again, you can decide the essential oils that you want to use, but I chose to use the lemongrass because that's really good to use. And so I'm just stirring this up until all of the clumps are gone. And I'm going to try to see it. And you can probably kind of see it just a little bit. And so now to take it, and I'm going to put it into the container, the glass container that I'm going to keep it in for it to solidify. So now I'm going to put the liquid into the container. And as you can see, it's still very liquidy. I don't know if you can see it. And so now I am closing the container, and this is just a base amount that I am using. You can definitely, take the ingredients and the recipe that I give you, and you can triple it, quadruple it, and make the amount that you want. And on the blog I will make sure that I put an image of when it solidifies and everything. And yeah, and so this is probably like 1 ounce worth of it, because this container is like 4 ounces. And so yeah, and that is how you make your own simple DIY deodorant cream. And this one smells really good. And I will definitely, probably maybe in a couple of weeks, I'll do the liquid one. And yeah, and it is not about inhibiting when you're making these things. It's not about creating things that inhibit your body's natural abilities. It's about working with the body's natural science of the body and its natural way that it works. And when you put the essential oils in, it is taking care of the bacteria growth, and that is on the hairs under your arms. And this is totally natural and very good for you, and it will not harm you or anything. And that, of course, is what I love to promote. Things that are not going to harm you and have short-term and long-term effects on your health and be detrimental to your well-being. And so this definitely will not. And it really smells really good. The lavender and the essential oil, it's just like, it's doing something, So yeah, so I am so grateful as always to make this video. And if you have any questions about the recipes, and I will definitely, in the blog, I will make sure that I put substitution ideas, tips, and all of that on the blog. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. I will definitely be doing a lot of more videos that have to do with things like this. And if you have any videos that you want to see on particular body products, let me know. It could be anything. I love to make all kind of body products. So if you have any ideas or you're interested in anything, let me know. And please don't forget, it definitely helps the channel for you to like, subscribe, and share. And you'll be notified when I'm making these amazing videos. And I am always grateful, because I know that you do not necessarily have to watch my videos. You could be watching any other video in the world, and I am so grateful whenever you are able to watch any of my videos. And so with that being said, I thank you for your time, and continue to be blessed and be well and be true to yourself. Peace, divine.